here at Tea Time Virtual Golf in Norman for another YouTube golf lesson series. So, today we are going to talk a little bit about proper postural control and hip rotation. So, there's two different things that I usually see with clients, especially beginners, high handicappers, that involve poor postural control as they rotate back and early hip extension as they try to rotate through. So, to go over the first one, which is how do we maintain the posture as we rotate? So, a lot of times I'll see people set up to the ball really well. They have a good posture, they understand how to set up, but the moment they start to take the club back, they immediately want to stand up and they lose that. And then a lot of times they'll be here and then they try to get back into that postural position. And then they'll either one, get really steep and hit it fat, two, they'll top it or get over the top. And then that creates some frustration. So, one of the drills that I like to utilize to help combat that is I like to have people imagine that they have a chair behind them. So, we're going to utilize this bar stool here to kind of uh, iterate this visual. So as you're coming back, you want to feel like your bottom stays on that bar stool, right? So I've got to rotate back into that right hip and maintain that posture. So sometimes at the range, I'll have benches that are available that I'll have a client come over and take some practice swings and fill that bench behind them to help them feel more over the golf ball as they rotate in towards the backswing. So I'll move this out of the way. And then the other issue that I see a lot is early hip extension coming into the golf ball. So sometimes they'll rotate really well here and maintain their posture, but then as soon as they start to transition, they start to bail out towards their back foot and come up and out. And then that club gets way stuck in inside, hands get way far out. So you can hit shanks from this position, you can hit it fat, you can hit it thin, you could flip the hands and you'll see hooks from that position if you're delivering the club in from there. So the thing that I talk about with that is you got to feel like you're rotating into that left hip, really driving through the left foot and around. So a good way to kind of visualize that for people is to utilize an alignment stick through the belt loops. And sometimes I have my students that wear pants or shirts that have this, and it's really beneficial if they're struggling with this particular issue. So if I take the club back really well, but then I do that early hip extension, I'm going to hit that stick as I come in through impact. Club head is behind, like we just talked about a minute ago. But now, if I can get them to do the proper feel of rotation and weight shift with the left hip, now all of a sudden that stick, it stays out of my way, right? As I rotate those hips and continue to force through my left side, then I have an easier time of keeping that club head out in front of me. Because that's truly the name of the game when you're trying to improve your ball striking. You have to keep the club out in front of you. It's just really difficult to hit from a stuck position or to get way over the top because of improper sequencing. So I'm going to get over the top here if I go this way. And again, my hips still have a tendency to kind of come up and underneath me, even with forcing my hands out that way. And a lot of times it's just because people don't necessarily understand how to allow their bodies to help them, how to teach their bodies how to rotate properly, because it is a process. And golf is a difficult sport to learn and it takes a lot of repetition. So that's why I always tell people, if you're going to start with golf, go ahead and get some lessons to kind of knock this basic stuff out that'll save you a lot of frustration and bad habits down the line. So those are two drills that I utilize a lot to help address those various issues to help improve ball striking. Because it's frustrating when you have those multitude of messes. So at least if we can rotate properly, that'll hopefully narrow down the things that we have to work on mechanically. And some of this stuff can be related to, students have poor core weakness, poor hip mobility, the pelvic control isn't there. Then you start getting into more of the TPI aspects of the golf swing, which is, those strength and functional mobility assessments that are going to directly translate to what you're doing in the golf swing. And so on future videos, I'll probably post, a couple exercises or, mobility routines that you can incorporate to help combat this particular issue. But give those two drills a try in between now and then and see if it doesn't give you some sort of, feedback of what you're actually doing in your golf swing, and see if it doesn't help you improve your contact a little bit. I really appreciate you all tuning in today. As always, let me know in the comments if there's anything in particular you would like to see next, and please subscribe. Thank you.